in the heart of whispering woods, where the trees wore frosty coats and the streams were hushed with ice, lived a little firefly named Pippa. But Pippa was a special kind of firefly, while her friends glowed with a warm golden light. Pippa's light was a soft, shimmering silver, like a tiny piece of the moon had been tucked into her tail. This winter, however, something was different. A deep chill had settled over the woods, colder than any elder could remember. The flowers drooped, the berries hid, and worst of all, Pippa's little silver light began to flicker and fade. One morning she woke up, and her light was gone. Completely, she felt a cold emptiness where her warm spark used to be. The other fireflies buzzed around her, their golden lights casting concerned shadows. "My spark is gone," Pippa chirped, her voice trembling. "The winter must have taken it." Barnaby, the oldest and wisest firefly, hovered close. "The winter doesn't take things, little one," he buzzed gently. "Sometimes things just get misplaced. Perhaps you need to go on a quest to find your lost spark." A quest. The idea was both scary and exciting. Pippa had never been far from her cozy mushroom home, but the thought of staying dark and cold was even scarier. She had to try it. So, with a brave little nod, she decided she would journey to the top of Frost Peak Mountain, where the oldest spirit of winter was said to reside. Surely the winter spirit would know where her spark had gone. She packed a tiny leaf bundle with a single dewdrop for her journey and set off. Her first challenge was crossing the giggling brook, which was no longer giggling. It was frozen solid, a long, slippery ribbon of ice. Pippa tried to fly over, but without her light, she felt heavy and clumsy. She slid and tumbled, her tiny legs scrambling for a grip. Just as she was about to give up, she heard a squeaky voice. "Need a hand or a paw?" A small field mouse named Squeaky, wearing a tiny acorn cap as a helmet, was skating gracefully across the ice on two flat, polished pebbles. He zipped over to Pippa. "You look a bit lost," he chirped. Pippa explained her quest to find her lost spark. Squeaky's whiskers twitched with sympathy. "The winter spirit, that's a long way. Here, let me help you across." He let Pippa climb onto his back, and together they skated across the frozen brook, gliding smoothly to the other side. Pippa thanked Squeaky, feeling a tiny bit warmer inside, even without her spark. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the trees grew taller and the shadows longer. A low, rumbling sound echoed through the forest. It was Barnaby the bear, snoring in his den. But Pippa didn't know that. She thought it was a monster. She hid behind a large rock, her little body shaking. The snoring got louder, and suddenly the big bear sneezed a mighty achoo. The force of the sneeze sent a pile of snow cascading down from a branch right on top of Pippa. She was buried. It was dark and cold under the snow. She was truly scared now. Just then a long, twitching nose poked through the snow, followed by a flurry of digging. It was Phineas the fox, his bright red fur a splash of color against the white snow. He had been looking for winter berries and had seen the whole thing. He gently nudged the snow away from Pippa. "Are you all right, little one?" he asked, his voice surprisingly soft. Pippa, shivering, told him her story. Phineas listened patiently. "Bravery isn't about not being scared," he said wisely. "It's about being scared and doing it anyway. You are very brave." He then showed her a hidden path that was sheltered from the wind, a shortcut that would lead her safely out of the deep woods. The path Phineas showed her led to the foothills of Frost Peak Mountain. The climb was steep and windy. The higher she went, the colder it became. Her tiny wings felt stiff, and her legs ached. She found a small cave to rest in, curling up to stay warm. As she sat there, feeling lonely and discouraged, she heard a soft cooing sound. A beautiful snow dove with feathers as white as fresh snow landed at the entrance of the cave. The dove, whose name was Luna, tilted her head. A little firefly, so far from home, and without a light, she cooed softly. "You must be very determined." Pippa, close to tears, explained her quest once more. Luna nodded. "The winter spirit is not what you might expect, but your heart is pure. Let me help you." Luna offered Pippa a ride on her back, cuddled warmly amongst the dove's soft feathers. Pippa was carried up the final, treacherous stretch of the mountain. From high in the air, she could see the whole of Whispering Woods laid out below, a patchwork of white and green. It was beautiful. They landed at the very peak, where an ancient gnarled tree stood, its branches encrusted with sparkling ice crystals. There was no grand spirit, no magical being. There was only the wind whistling through the branches, and a profound, peaceful silence. Pippa felt confused. "Where is the winter spirit?" she asked Luna. The dove cooed. "It is all around you. It is the ice, the wind, the quiet. It is the rest the world takes before the spring." Just then, a single perfect snowflake drifted down and landed on Pippa's nose. It didn't melt. Instead, a tiny, soft blue light began to pulse from its center. And then another snowflake landed, and another, each glowing with a gentle, cool light. Pippa looked around in wonder. The winter spirit wasn't a single being to ask for help. It was the beauty of winter itself. Pippa thought about her journey. She remembered Squeaky's kindness, Phineas's wisdom, and Luna's gentleness. She hadn't been alone. Her friends had helped her, sharing their own kind of light with her. As she thought about them, a warmth spread through her chest. It started as a tiny flicker, then grew stronger. She looked down, and there in her tail was a faint glow, but it wasn't her old silver light. This new light was a beautiful iridescent color, swirling with hints of silver, blue, and a warm, rosy pink. It was the color of kindness, the color of bravery, and the color of friendship. Her spark hadn't been lost or stolen by the winter. It had just been sleeping, waiting for her to rediscover what truly made her shine. It wasn't just about having a light, it was about the warmth she shared with others and the warmth they shared with her. With a happy chirp, Pippa thanked Luna and the spirit of the mountain. Her flight back down was easy. Her new light glowed brightly, cutting through the winter gloom. When she arrived back in Whispering Woods, all her friends and family buzzed out to meet her. They gasped in awe at her magnificent, colorful new light. It was more beautiful than any light they had ever seen. Barnaby, the wise firefly, hovered close. "You see, Pippa," he buzzed, "sometimes we have to go through a little darkness to find our brightest light." Pippa knew he was right. And from that day on, Pippa the Firefly didn't just light up the night with her spark. She lit it up with the story of her journey and the reminder that the greatest light of all is the one we find and share together. Thanks for listening, and remember to shine your own special light. Follow 4 more stories